Good morning, go getters. How are you doing? I am here to talk about how to use social media to build your brand. And I'm going to, over the next 4 episodes, so today, which is Friday, where I'm doing this right now, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, we'll continue to run through these particular steps. And I have this first step is really about clarity. And the number one secret about social media, honestly, is that you are not going to make everyone happy. I know that sounds like a weird secret, but it's true. I think that we spend a lot of time not doing what we need to do because we're afraid of what other people will think and what other people will say about us. And I know that that has definitely been something that I've suffered from over the years, just kind of taking my time with something because I'm afraid of like what my peers might say or what people might say about me if I do it. And the truth is that you aren't going to make everyone happy no matter what you do. So if you're here this morning, let me know you're here. Tell me who you are, and in the comments, definitely let me know if you're here so I can say hi to you. But the truth is that the bottom line on this on social media is that you have to be who you are to attract the people that you need to attract. And you're going to attract some people and you're going to repel others. And that is actually the way it should be. You should be attracting into your tribe the people that are the right people for your brand and for who you are and for what you have to offer. So, I wanted to discuss today how to do that, how to find your ideal online community, how to use social media to set the stage for these sustainable relationships over time with customers. And by the way, in our current situation where everybody is very uncertain about the future, this is exactly the time that you need to be working with people, because when we come out of that, people are going to remember you for what you did for them during this time. It's really important. And then you're going to get your strategic plan in place with the right audience and the right offer. Yes, we will still have offers. We still have to have an economy, people. I'll talk to you about this in a minute. And set objectives that meet the needs of your business while helping others also. So you have to put together something that is helping people, especially in this environment. We have so many things that are going to be uncertain over the next, 3 to 6 months. I'm hoping that, we're able to get back to normal in certain places of the world, but it's going to be halting. It's going to be on and off. And so I really want to dig deep into how do you attract this ideal audience or your ideal community. And so I like to talk about your ideal community member. I know some people call them, avatars and so on. But what I like to talk about is figuring out who the ideal community member is for what you have to offer and who you are. So for me, for example, my ideal community member really is small business owners that understand the importance of social media and why they need it in their business, but they just don't know how to do it. Like they want to just get to that next step. They have an amazing product. They may even have some customers that have really given them great feedback, but they're not really sure how to get the attention of the marketplace. Those are perfect for what I'm doing in my training, which is Smart Social Secrets, coming up in a couple of weeks. The other level for that for me, which would be the next step in my customer chain, are people that do have businesses already and they're looking for somebody to come in and help them with their brand and business to make that even better. So we've done that for large enterprise companies and so on. But right now, I really, my heart is really about the smaller entrepreneurs and the people that really need to be able to have these skill sets during this time frame. So, how you find those people? So, first of all, you have to define it. That's first of all, you're going to have to define it. And unfortunately, in this environment, we can't say we serve every single human on the planet. That's just not going to work in this particular marketplace right now. You have to solve specific problems for specific people. That's going to be what wins in this particular environment. It is. It's just where we're at. So I'm going to just be blunt about it. I mean, it's hard for me too. It's hard to say I only serve this one little market, because you want to make sure that you have all of the availability of who you can serve there. So I get where you're coming from if you're worried about that. But the bottom line is that, you're gonna have to have those things defined for yourself. So The second thing that I really want to talk about on that, and I'm kind of looking over here on LinkedIn too, by the way. So hi, people from LinkedIn. Lauren, hi, thank you. And oh, hey, Steve Gladys, hi. Anyway, my professor from George Mason University is here to hear what I have to say about this. I'm really honored. Thank you. I learned everything I know about PR from you in the early days. Thank you. So anyway, so that being said, what I want to do is help you get through these steps. And so that for the next couple of days, we are going to be walking through these steps. I do want to hear your questions. I do want to in real time feedback to you or in the comments. So if you have questions, let me know. But really, I want to teach you how to use social media to set the stage for these sustainable relationships with your customers that will last over time. And the way that you do that is really by being right there in the trenches with your customer. We all are suffering from this. I will tell you, my business is half healthcare, it's half travel and tourism. I can tell you which side collapsed this week, right? So, travel and tourism is obviously not happening the way it was, but I'm still working with those clients. I've reached out to them. I found out if they're doing okay. We're talking about what the messaging should be during this time because it's very different. You can't encourage people to travel to your destination at this moment. You have to then, start to talk about the future and like how we can put that together and how can you be a good community partner during this time with other people. So getting the information out to your visitors and people that are in the area where you're at. So if you're in travel and tourism, obviously people come from outside in, but also internally in your community, people count on that revenue and all that kind of stuff. And they do see that as being really important. On the healthcare side, obviously, that's huge right now. People are worried about their health. We have to be very diligent about how we're responding to those people and giving them the right information that really does help them and not stoke fear. There's a lot of things and messaging pieces that you have to think about when you're talking about that audience. So I'm just giving you an idea from my current client base. But I've also worked with nonprofits for years and years. And right now, I assume that a lot of nonprofits are a little bit worried about their revenues for the rest of the year. Are people going to feel in the mood to give? How are you going to get them interested in giving? Well, you're going to get them there by it being in their best interest as well as your best interest. So you've got to find that place where the two collide and really lean into that right now. And, this year we might not have as big of revenues as we would hope or want. But the truth is that you are building the relationships now that are going to sustain your business in the future. That's what's happening right now. And you need to get in motion. I guess that's the best way I can put it. This clarity piece is so important. Understanding who you're serving and what you have to offer for them. And it may not be this huge thing you're selling them. It may be just support. It may just being there. It may be things like what I'm doing here, which is just giving out the content and the information that I have about how to do this. It may be a number of things that people will put you at the top of mind for people. And for me, it's live streaming video to y'all. But for other people, it may be very different. It could be like phone calls or, getting in the trenches with people or putting out a piece of content that is going to help people right now to do something. We had Jamie Troll on I think it was now, I don't even remember. My weeks have gone by so fast on Tuesday. And she talked about how businesses can start to get their financial health in order. That's going to be really important right now. And she has a really cool COVID-19 small business guide. And so she put that together really quickly so people could download it for free. But now they're on her mailing list. So she can then serve them more as she goes forward. So there's email, there's social media and all the different forms. You can be showing up on Instagram, for example, on a daily in the stories and just encouraging people or entertaining them. Right now, all of the entertainment industry has collapsed. So if you are an entertainer or a musician or anything like that, this is a really ideal time for you to bring your talent out because people are kind of hungry. They're bored. They're at home and all of their major television shows, they're about to run out of episodes because they've all had to stop production for a while. So how can you do that? So you got to think, what do people need right now that are my perfect audience? And then you have to not worry about what people will think. And you have to understand that you're not going to make everyone happy. You're going to get complaints, maybe. Maybe somebody will be negative. I mean, let's just face it. A lot of people are stressed out right now. They've lost their jobs. There's, unemployment is high because the service industries have shut down except for the essential ones all over the world. So there's just like a huge opportunity right now. And by the way, speaking of the world, there's an international opportunity. People from all around the world. Nobody's able to get out, even in their own community. So there's a hunger for needs and connection with their peers. Social media breakfast is something I've been running here in Houston for 10 years. That's an in-person event. We are going to take that online, and I'm coming up right now as we speak with ways for me to be able to connect these people in smaller groups when we meet. So I'm working on that through breakout rooms, kind of like Zoom has them too, but I use bluejeans.tv. And so they also have these breakout rooms. So I'm working on learning how to do that so that I can bring people together, but also break them into smaller groups so they can communicate with each other. I was just on the phone with a client yesterday that I meet with on a regular basis, and he may be watching right now. So hi, Steve. And we were talking about how hard it is for people that are single and at home because, they may have their pets or whoever, but they're alone. I mean, I think about me. I'm here with my family. There's 5 of us, and it's a little stir crazy. I have to be honest. So we all have our struggles. So if your perfect ideal customer is a family person, they're going to have a different experience than if they're somebody who is like, a professional, like, either married with no kids or somebody who's a single person. So think through like who you're really trying to reach and what their specific experience is. And maybe, for those people that are in that position, you can then talk to them directly to where they're at right now. And they can think, wow, this person really knows me. They get me. So get your strategic plan in place with this audience, and then start talking to them, kind of like I'm talking to you today, and finding out what their struggles are. I'm definitely been looking at what the struggles could be and what we might be. So I'm just saying, look into what's going on with that and see how you can manage that. The other part is of setting your objectives. So, I think it's really important to understand what you're trying to accomplish as you're going forward, because right now, things are a little bit rough. And I admit that it's hard for all of us, but things are a little bit rough. And having objectives in place of what you're trying to accomplish in a specific time frame, it's going to have to be reasonable at this point because obviously there's a lot going on. But the truth is that you don't want to just sit still. I think a lot of people are looking for momentum. It's really easy to get on your couch and just sort of like give in to all of the really doomsday scenarios that are playing out in front of us. And by the way, there may be some doomsday scenarios that play out, but if you give in to that thinking, you won't move forward. So I just suggest that you at least set some goals for yourself that are like, I'm going to get this accomplished by this date. For us, it was Smart Social Secrets. We were supposed to launch on May 4th. We're going to launch early. And we're going to do an accelerator at the beginning of it. So people who come into the program with us, Smart Social Secrets is really for teaching people how to put together their social media plan and do exactly what I'm talking about right here, getting your clients in place, like exactly who you're trying to reach, how to reach them and all that. But what we're trying to do is like bring that forward. So we're going to launch it sooner. We're going to launch it in the next couple of weeks because I feel like people need it now. People need to pivot right now with their businesses so that we can make sure that you guys survive in some form. I love what there's a farm in Vermont that they do maple syrup, and their whole entire business model is based on going to farmers markets in the summertime. So they work in the winter and get all their stuff together, and then they tap their trees and they pull all the maple syrup out, which sounds really great, and create all that stuff. And then they go to market with it. Like they actually go out into all these little places. Can you imagine? That's not going to happen this year. It's just not. So they have been thinking for a long time, like, hey, if there's that little idea that's been nagging in the back of your head for a really long time, like I should launch a course, or I should, in their case, put together a box, like one of those boxes that come to your house on a regular basis. I get Ipsy, which is a makeup, a monthly makeup box, or it's actually a little envelope. But anyway, those kinds of things are maybe the way to go. So they've been thinking about it for a long time, but they had this other way of distributing their product. Well, suddenly they don't have that way anymore. So what are they going to do? Well, they came out on Facebook. They talked about their struggles. They told their story about the struggles of their business. And they said, hey, we're going to launch this box and this is what it's going to be. And they put together a PDF. And then people that responded to that, they actually sent me a DM yesterday with a PDF of what they were going to offer. And I love that because that's ingenuity. That's ingenuity. That's the way that you do this. You get clarity, you set your objectives, and you just create that thing that you think that people might need and that will work in this current marketplace. So I'm really like a big fan. I mean, definitely, you know, have your moment to get your arms around this situation, but don't wait too long because it will put you in the doldrums. And I don't know, if you've heard of the doldrums, but when the sail of if you're a sailor, you kind of know what this is. But if you have a sailboat and the wind stops blowing and the sail collapses, you can sit there forever in the doldrums. So, the sailboat sail isn't working right now. So start the motor. It's time to push forward into something different. I'm just really urging people to do that because I think if you don't, it's going to be so easy to just give in to the fatalism of what's coming. So let's be the ones who come out on the other end of this with the stories that we were able to support our tribe during this time. So I don't know. This is what I wanted to say today. I just really that you're not going to make everyone happy. Don't try to. Focus on the people that really matter to you and your business. Look for ways that you're going to help them. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk about how to connect with people authentically during this crisis. I'm going to kind of go more into detail about how to connect with them. But right now, all I really want you to do is to start to think about who your who is going to be. Who are you going to help during this time? Who are the people and the businesses or whatever it is you do? Who are the people that you are going to help? So anyway, I'll come back on Monday with how to connect authentically in this crisis time and really talk about that, which is really around messaging a little bit more and with my second social secret. So I hope you're there. Definitely plan to join me then and I'll talk to you soon. Bye guys.